So I am Danielle Edberg. You probably remember me from yesterday. I'm with Procore Technologies. I wanted to start us out. I'm going to be introducing Barbara Rez, but I actually know Barbara personally. When we first launched our Women in Construction initiative about 2.5 years ago at our conference, Groundbreak in Austin, Texas, Barbara sat on our Women in Construction panel and spoke on a different topic. But one thing that really stood out to me about Barbara joining us at Groundbreak was that we did kind of a impromptu luncheon to kick off the whole initiative, get all the women that were participating together. And a few of the women came up to us after the event and really emphasized how great it was that Barbara came to the lunch and chatted with them, and that they didn't really have access to people of that level that were so real and so approachable. And I just thought that that was really cool. So I wanted to kind of start with that. And I know I'm not supposed to read off a piece of paper. Carol and Judy, I'm looking at you. But I am going to tell you about Barbara's accomplishments because they're just impressive. So she's a professional engineer and attorney and has been an executive in construction and real estate for 40 years. She has spoken about women in construction in both the US and England and was one of 3 female engineers in a graduating class of hundreds. So she entered the construction industry back in 1972 and dealt with intimidation, discrimination, sexual harassment, and still rose to a powerful position, eventually becoming the EVP of Trump Work and heading construction up for Trump Tower. So throughout her time, she's represented many developers and even has her name inscribed on Madison Avenue. She's been a pioneer for women engineers, and her stamina has really changed the way that women have been perceived in the field in construction. She's an advocate for women in engineering, project management, and the building trades, and her story inspires women of all ages to participate in construction. So let's give Barbara a big round of applause.
Hi. Hi. Nice to be here. What a great crowd. I am going to apologize in advance. I'm going to be looking at notes on and off because I've got a lot of things to say and I want to make sure I cover everything. But we'll start out by me giving you a headline from the New York Times, not just any paper, the New York Times. First all-female spacewalk canceled because NASA doesn't have 2 suits that fit. Now, I don't know how you received this, but I was, what? Women have been in the space program for a long time. They don't have 2 suits. And the first thing that hit me, and I made a connection here, was construction. The PPE and the PPC, personal protective equipment and clothing. We don't have it. Women are wearing gloves that are too big. The manufacturers that are doing it, that are modifying what they have, are making them smaller. But it's not just that women are small. We're not exactly like men, but small. We're built differently. Our hands are different. Our eyes are different. Goggles don't fit. Gloves don't fit. So, I said, why is this? And the only thing I could think of is that people in male-dominated industries have not internalized the fact that we're there, even though we're there in small numbers, but we're there. And I think that's why. It's not that they don't care as much as they don't think about it. And so one of the things that we want to do, or we're going to do, is let people know we are here, and we're here to stay. So we're going to move on from that. All right, now I wrote a book. It's up there. By the way, all my information is up there. So, and I take emails, I take phone calls, I take it, whatever you want. The name of the book is All Alone on the 68th Floor. And it's a metaphor because this Trump Tower, which is 58 stories, but Donald calls them 68, it's true. I used to go up to the top of the building and I would look down on the city and I would just think, I'm at the top of the world. And I was alone and I would just think about the fact that I had reached a pinnacle in my experience and my success in my career that maybe I didn't even think I would attain. But the second part of it was that I realized that there was no one behind me. I really was alone. There was no army of PMs and supers and estimators and people that were going to come and replace me. there were just women. There weren't women in the industry. There weren't. I was alone. So that was the title of the book. And things have changed, but nevertheless, we're not in the numbers, and I'll talk about this later, that we have to be. My son came up with the subtitle, How One Woman Changed the Face of Construction. And, at first I said no. And then I thought, okay, I've made some inroads, and I've affected people's lives. And more I'm learning, I've affected more people's lives. So, but the fact is that I didn't change it, and it isn't changed. So the title of my talk here, How Women Change the Face of Construction, is going to be How Women Are Changing the Face of Construction, or How Women Are Trying to Change the